The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
I'm so miserable now! 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 Going into the doctor soon and trying to get Guatemalan steroids. You know, like the strongest, straight from Guatemala steroids, craziest, high-powered, testosterone-filled, totally jacked to the gills, fucking World War Hulk-style steroids. And I'm gonna be jabbing my ass cheeks with those things on the daily. I am so fucking miserable now. And you must be miserable too. Because misery loves company. Welcome on in to Nerd Avengers Tower. Welcome on in to another day here at the Den of Nerds. Classic track there, throwing it back. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one there. Sets the mood real nice. Real nice. I'm fired the fuck up today. Partially because it's still freezing in here. It is so fucking cold, dude. What the fuck? Anyway. We got things to talk about. We got things to discuss. I do want to go over some Marvel updates, some Star Wars updates, and why it's sending me. So we'll break all of that down. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. I'm sure it'll be a real fun conversation. Lots of love shared. And then we have a positive topic to get into today. We have some good news. We have something that I'm actually excited to get into. So we'll save that for the end. And first, we're just going to begin by going over some fascinating updates, man. Fascinating updates. Drummer Stacks, appreciate it. Says, Josh, we're excited for your metal evolution. Rock on, brother, man. Nerd Avengers for life. Yeah. You can't kill the metal, you know? Wonder Man. What's that? Josh has good news on Wonder Man. So we have a poll going on right now as to how many of you actually watched Wonder Man. Right now, no is winning with 52%. But if you did watch Wonder Man, let us know in the poll. If you did not watch Wonder Man, let us know in the poll. Would love to get a good look at how much of the community actually checked the show out and whatnot. Zach says, from the 5 spot, appreciate it, brother, says, I feel your pain. I'm shoveling and it's -12 with the wind. Yeah. No, it's not great. It's not great. 2026. Woo! Off to a great start. Kathleen Kennedy will return in Avengers Doomsday. Oh, God. Tough luck with a 10 spot. Appreciate you, brother. Says, I'll ensure Mando and Grogu's box office hit so Filoni's Star Wars film stays theatrical. He won't lose his film to Disney like George Lucas lost PHX and American Graffiti to studios in the editing room. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that. That's one of the stories today. It's a depressing state of affairs. Lots of ins and outs, and just a fascinating situation over there with Star Wars, huh? I found a really good tweet, where somebody just had the perfect take on it, and it is kind of embarrassing to see where it has all gotten to. But maybe we should save the absolute depression and my ranting and raving for just a couple of more minutes. But thank you for the 10 spot, man. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Rossi says with a 10 spot, and I can see people reacting to this shit, so I know this is a good one. People really like this one, Rossi. Here we go. Oh, there's a glitch. Oh, no, I lost it. Rossi, I'm so sorry. Oh, no, I can't read it. Just kidding. Josh, where the F is Heather in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 trailer? I'll tell you, she's next to Dr. Doom, giving him therapy in Doomsday. She'll upgrade from Matt to Doom. Much love. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God almighty. Save us! Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. That would be a big upgrade, though, for sure. Anyways, how you guys doing? What's up? How you feeling? For those of you that did watch Wonder Man, did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Curious as to people's thoughts. I've seen some people excited about it. I've seen some people kind of trashing it, but did you watch it? Did you enjoy it, chat? And how you guys doing? Love it. Okay, awesome. I need a whole Heather show. Oh, my God. The show was great. Good. Heather, greater than Sue Storm. Okay, Justin's at it. Justin, rip roaring, ready to go. No, Wonder Man 8.5 out of 10. Watch the first episode. It was good acting. Okay. I actually did enjoy it. Right on. It's a good show. Not a superhero show. Just a show about an actor. Okay, awesome. I was going to watch it on the weekend. Okay, right on. Loving it. Going to start it tonight. It was great. Wow, a lot of positivity out there about Wonder Man. That's good. I'm glad you guys liked it. I unfortunately am going to shit all over it, shit all over everybody that likes it, shit all over Marvel, and talk about how this is probably going to destroy the entire company. But I am pumped that you guys got some enjoyment out of it, for sure. We know nobody's going to watch it, Josh. No, people are going to watch it. It's just like a very small amount of people are going to watch it. I think actually part of the problem with Wonder Man is that more people will talk about it than will watch it. And all of that conversation does not serve Marvel well. That is really kind of what it gets down to. But like a lot of things, we sort of run the risk here of beating the same old drum, not saying anything new, not adding to the conversation, and just bitching and moaning. So I took some time this morning to hate in a really well thought out way. You know what I mean? I didn't want to just be a hater. And I think 2026, to be honest with you guys, like, one of the things that's changing with content is like, you got to put a little effort into this shit. I think a lot of the tried and true formulas that a lot of content creators have are not working in some ways, or just have less appeal than maybe they used to. And I think that the truth of that is like, We're just tired of it, you know? And you gotta do more than that. So I got up early today to hate in a really well thought out, really clever way. So I don't want to just shit on the show. I'm going to shit on the show with science, weather charts, weather balloons, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be great. It's okay. That's why I love you, Josh. Awesome. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. Wait, you're a hater? I mean, I don't think so. I just think everything sucks ass and is worth hating. But I don't think I'm a hater. I'd love to live in a world where everything didn't suck ass. But, you know, whatever you say, whatever you want to say. You've got to do better, Senator. Oh, no, seriously, we're going to have a lot of fun, man. We're going to have a lot of fun. I've got some points. There's some things that I want to say. And I'm actually not really shitting on the show itself. I mean, I haven't seen it. I never will. I never will. So I can't actually speak to the quality of it. But I am going to talk about Marvel's day yesterday, a day in which they dropped an entire show and a trailer for another show. And I'm going to kind of talk about my perception of what that was like and a sort of lack of motion and oomph that you would maybe think would come with something like that. And look, I'm basically going to say some deeply unpopular shit. Okay. And once again, I'm going to try to sound the alarm on some shit, probably way too early and probably completely in vain. I think over the last couple of years, if you just look at the decline of Marvel, at the very least, you'd probably have to say that, like, you know, years ago when I was shouting to the rooftops that they should cancel shows and whatnot, that, you know, you might not say he was right about that, but I think at the very least, we've come to a place where maybe that wasn't so crazy. You know, maybe that wasn't so crazy. And there's this idea of like, okay, but I like this show, or this was good, or I like this creator, this, that, second, and the third, and that's completely fine. But I got no fucking time for it, dog. Like, it's show business, it's not show friends, and they're fucking this shit up. So we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna break it down. This is bad. Like, this is bad. And I have to sort of fly this flag because, well, number one, I mean, this is what I do. You know what I mean? Like, I feel as though I am plugged in. I have a perspective, and I share that perspective online. It's literally what I do. So, you know, take it or leave it. But also because I do want to try to help. And I think maybe by pointing out some of these problems and just talking about how, like, man, this really ain't it. Maybe some others could come around to that idea. Maybe some people that are feeling a certain way towards Marvel could find a better way to articulate that. Maybe the studio themselves could learn a thing or two. I don't know. But either way, bro, I got to talk that shit. Because I really worry about Marvel, dude. I really worry about Marvel. And we live in this time when Doomsday is coming, and Doomsday is cool, and there's definitely going to be a lot of interest and hype for Doomsday. But we also live in a weird world where, like, literally Marvel drops an entire show and a trailer for a new big thing, and I don't feel like anything. And I don't really see, like, motion hype or anything. If anything, I see just continued fatigue. And I'm worried about how Marvel is interacting with people online. It is earning a reputation that is going to be very difficult to overcome. So that's kind of like what we'll get into, the TLDR of that and breaking that whole thing down. And then we'll talk about Dave Filoni's movie. We'll talk about this report from Daniel RPK, which is so depressing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm miserable. It's unbelievable that we're here. I just really am truly frustrated with how Disney and the IP that they have has been handled and their plan in the future, you know? So we're going to talk about that report. It is interesting. It's fascinating. I do wonder what you guys think about it. It would be good to get into a conversation about it, but I'll make my points. We'll talk about it. And I mean, guys, wow, that shit is ass. But then we have something really positive. We have something really good to talk about. I'm keeping it a secret, but we'll talk about that later on in the show. I don't think Marvel needs you to worry about them. Fair point. I'm still going to fucking do it, dog. And also, you're banned forever. Books M 420, you're gone. Forever. See you, buddy. But you are right. But it'll be the last thing you ever write about in this chat. Sometimes I'm glad I lost my job. Yeah. Great addition to the conversation there, Trev. Incredible addition to the conversation. You know what? I think I'm done. I think I'll probably take tomorrow off. Maybe take Friday off too. Streaming is Streaming's not it. It's, you know, it's just, it's so fun to come in here and have a whole bunch of butthole energy. Awesome stuff. But don't worry, because I'm so committed to hating on it that I'm going to stay here in spite of that shit, and I'm going to fucking hate. I'm going to hate with such veracity today, and then I'm out. Take those days off so you can binge Wonder Man. My God. Give them a Warhammer stream. Don't worry, it's coming. This takes me back to the Quantumania days. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I'm here for your hate. Well, there you go. This is the energy I love. F Wonder Man. We want superhero shows. Yeah. Man, I got to tell you, if you would have told me, like, just giving me a snapshot of what this whole thing would turn into at, like, the end game time, I really would not have believed you. Like, I really would not have believed you. And it really has gotten to this place. Oh, God. So ridiculous. I'm here for the cold air between Josh's cheeks. Jesus Christ. How is Wonder Man better than DD? This is where we're at. Yeah, that's where we're at. I support your hatred full-heartedly. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, let's get into the hatred. Let's dial it up. Fucking buttholes. Fucking stupid-ass buttholes. Fuck! All right. Let's talk about stupid-ass Marvel. How they fucked everything up. Bunch of idiots. Keys to the Kingdom, incredible IP, 75 years of history. Let's fucking Disneyfy it. Let's fucking turn it into shit. And then let's be so hyper-focused on trying to get everybody's little project out that we don't make the hard business decision to stop the fucking bleeding. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable! Okay, so we're in the middle of a really exciting season with Doomsday around the corner, Spider-Man coming out. Hell, even Daredevil looks like it's going to be a little bit better than last season, which, holy fuck, it should be. And yet I must sound the alarm, and yet I must sit up here and do something that will be deeply unpopular, that a lot of you people don't like, that you've already honestly pissed me the fuck off in chat because you're so butthurt about me bringing this up. And yet, I must do it. I must say what needs to be said. So yesterday, fascinating day for Marvel Studios, in which they release a trailer for Daredevil Season 2, and then also release all 8 episodes of their next upcoming Disney Plus series. Now, that in and of itself is just so fucking weird, right? Like, just think about that for a second. They released the trailer for the next Disney Plus show the day of release for on the one that's coming out right now, and that is just truly weird, right? Like, you would imagine you give the space to the show that's coming out, you know, you do it justice, you have a marketing campaign for it, etc., etc. And I sat back and I sort of watched what went on yesterday on social media and the reactions to the trailers, et cetera, and my initial reaction to the Daredevil trailer was like, this feels better. I'm excited, but there's just something weird about this. There's something off, right? And, you know, a couple hours later, I sort of checked back into the timeline. I'm seeing how people are responding to it. I'm seeing what channels are making what content about it. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, there's like no emotion on this Daredevil trailer. I think a lot of people just kind of weren't feeling it. It's weirdness, I think, rubbed off on some people. But by and large, the thing that I felt was like a huge amount of apathy. I didn't even see like a lot of hardcore hating and a lot of like interest in even hating on it. It was more like mid and whatever. And that's like wild. Now, considering what Daredevil Born Again Season 1 actually did in viewership and exposure, etc., I mean, I guess it tracks. But, I mean, I thought they probably could have gone a bit harder and maybe even excited more fans, got people excited, et cetera, but it really did not pop off in a way that I would have expected. And then the discourse and the viewership and the release of Wonder Man was just like such a depressing reminder of the state of where Marvel is at. And I had this thought. I mean, it's real. This is a real thing where I'm at the same time excited for Doomsday, excited for Spider-Man, excited for what I believe will be the studio turning it around. And yet I can't help but like just be reminded of the baggage and the bullshit that has come before. And it's like I can't actually get into that new place of hype. I'm still reminded of everything that was and everything that we still have going on. And it sucks, dude. It's not a good feeling. And so I had this feeling yesterday where I was like, damn, you know, we talk about 1 billion views for Doomsday. You know, we talk about all this excitement and hype, and we say things like Marvel is back, or like, you know, we'll try to like throw it in other people's faces where we're like, dude, look at how massive the view market with content and rituals and social media cycles. You know, I've made this point before, but like the whole ritual of doing the world premiere and all the social media reactions, and then the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and then the audience scores, and like that whole week, that used to be something that really mattered and was really cool. And it feels not just repetitive. I have a negative association with it. And I think a lot of people do. You know, world premiere. Oh, look at all the shills. Like, I'm sorry, that's what it is. I didn't do that. You fucking did that. And then it's like, oh, the social media reactions. Yeah, we can't trust those fake ass shit. Can't wait to see the Rotten Tomatoes score where it's way worse. And it usually is. It usually is. Even when it's not, there's skepticism. That whole thing has become such a... It is affecting people in a negative way, okay? And I think the reason this is happening, and part of the reason why Wonder Man... Like, I'm sure Wonder Man is good. I'm sure that a lot of you enjoyed it, you know, because a lot of you were super mad that I said, fuck that show, and I'm like, fuck Marvel, and I'm hating today and all that, right? A lot of you, the energy, the pushback is because a lot of you guys really liked it. You thought it was great. That's awesome, dude. But I don't think it's going to do well. I mean, if it does do well, it's because they dropped it all at once, and they're just trying to shove as much into a slow period of Nielsen as possible. And you really dig into those numbers, it's probably not going to be good. And I think that part of the reason Marvel dumped it all at once is because they kind of know that. They kind of know that nobody's feeling that shit. They kind of know it's not really going to blow up. And in fact, I think that's probably why they dropped the Daredevil trailer as well. Because I think they kind of knew that the discourse surrounding that thing was going to be bad. Okay? The truth of the matter is, like, are there some haters out there, some bad faith people that are just like butthurt and want to just hate on Marvel? Sure, but those people have been around forever. They were trying to hate in the Infinity Saga. It just didn't stick because the shit was so hype. People love that shit so much. So where we find ourselves today is that the vast majority of fans online consider Marvel to be like junk food. Okay? Junk food. And I've tried to like explain this in many different ways. So I want to say a couple of things here. I want to make a couple of metaphors that I think will help you get it. You know, like communication is interesting. It's I could say things, but maybe there's a way that I could get you to feel a certain thing. Like maybe there's a way to make a correlation, give you a metaphor, give you a story, and then a familiar feeling that you've had can be associated with what I'm trying to talk about, okay? Because there's a lot of folks that I think don't really see what's going on. And again, this is what I tried to bring up in the segment of Dragon Ball yesterday. I've tried to bring it up many times in many different ways. So when I went to New York and I did the whole Deadpool VR thing, I was there with like super nerdy content creators. Like these people are like gamers, Marvel fans, you know, whatever. Like they're in it. They're nerds and they're content creators. They got a lot of time. You know what I mean? Like they should. And I was fascinated by how many of those people had like completely checked out of Marvel. Like it blew my mind. But the explanation is very simple. To them, it is not what it was. It's junk food now. Okay, so let me just give you a couple of examples here. Maybe some of this will resonate with you. To many normie fans, Marvel, and specifically the MCU, is the guy that peaked in high school. Okay? You know that guy. You probably know that guy. You maybe went to high school with that guy. And he was the shit. And he was awesome. And the whole world knew how awesome that guy was. And then like years and years later, you run into him working some counter job, and it's just like this weird thing. Like that's, to me, I think to a lot of people, that is what Marvel is. Another example, Marvel, specifically the MCU, is the ex, either your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend, that likes your social media posts years later, maybe a decade later. It's weird. It doesn't, we're not together anymore. And you're being weird about it. That's what it feels like. And I think that is like, that's like the gut level feeling that a lot of these normie fans have when Marvel releases stuff. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's just like, understand what is happening. Too many different people out there. That's what Marvel becomes. It's like that ex of yours that gives you that awkward reminder. And that's what the fucking release of Wonder Man is. I'm sorry. That's what it amounts to. It amounts to a weird reminder for most fans, not for those that are the most hardcore. I'm trying to explain like what is happening to this brand in the perception of many other actual normal regular folks. The hardcore among us are like, we're locked in, dude. We're gonna be here. Okay, the wheels fall off this shit, I'm gonna be here. But I don't want the wheels to fall off of this shit. Okay, last one here. Marvel is that band that you used to love that years later, you are absolutely fucking shocked to find out they're on tour. You find out they're doing shows, and you're like, what the fuck? They're still doing shows, and it's like a shocking, like, what the fuck? That's ridiculous. That's what Marvel has become to a lot of fans, okay? And it's like, I'm trying to explain why yesterday went the way that it did, and the sort of danger of what will come next. Because if Marvel does not recognize this, if they do not truly adjust for this exact thing in the future, they are fucked. I've been saying for years, I think they should cancel stuff. And I understand the sort of like empathic or empathetic side of that, right? Where you don't want to destroy a project. You don't want people's creative work to go to waste, okay? And I think truly this has been something that Kevin has struggled with. And from my perspective, like you look at a guy like Zaslav who just, you know, Batgirl is gone, this movie's gone, that's this, that, second, and the third. I'm not saying you have to go full Zaslav, but my God, the amount of projects that have come out over the past 5 to 6 years are so fatiguing that I find myself even frustrated by Wonder Man. Like I legitimately do. Like I'm legitimately frustrated by Wonder Man, its existence, and the discourse around it. Because I'm not focused on the hardcore group that's like, hey, you know, better than I thought. Hey, not bad. I actually enjoyed it. Like all of that shit is fine. I'm talking about the strength and the lifeblood of the brand outside of that. And this whole thing of empathy and this whole idea of wanting to keep these projects around or do the right thing as opposed to like what's right for the business or the brand is just delusional. Like, look, have you ever heard this metaphor of wanting to help a caterpillar out of its cocoon? So I think this was in Lost. I think the bald character would tell this story. I think his name was John Locke. So butterflies, right? If you come upon a butterfly and it's trying to break out of its cocoon and it's struggling and it's like, wow, like, dude, it doesn't, I don't know if it's going to make it. I need to help. I have empathy and I need to help. If you crack that cocoon open and you help the butterfly, it will die. It will die because it needs to struggle to get out of the cocoon, to build the strength, to have the ability to fly and survive. And so sometimes life is like that. You might want to help. I deal with this a lot as a father. I'm like, damn, I don't want to see my son struggle. But if I don't let him struggle, he will never grow. He will never, like, grow into the person that he's supposed to be. He'll never blossom into a big, beautiful butterfly, right? And I think there's, like, something in that lesson that Marvel should take when trying to do just like all of these projects and care about all of these opinions and perspectives and different things. It's just like, it's absurd. I think it's absurd in and of itself, but I think it's especially absurd in the context of where fans and the audience is right now. And I really and truly am worried about Marvel in a similar way to Star Wars, where it's like, if they don't really understand why this shit isn't working, and they just keep doing it. Like, it's cooked, man. I don't want 7 different X-Men shows focusing on like the life plot and the individual journey and career path of this one interesting, unique. Like, no, dude. And I don't think a lot of people are there for that either. You look at what's very much blowing up in pop culture, and I don't think it's any of that shit. Like, certainly you could do really interesting character studies, and there's always been content like that, and I think you could do that. But in the wake of flooding the market with so many goobly glob projects, to the point that people think it's the guy that peaked in high school, that people think it's the band that should not be on tour anymore. Like, you're making the problem worse every single time you do some shit like this. And I think the spin and this sort of PR angle on it all masks the true ugliness of what is going on. Now, on the one hand, how big of a deal is it really? Wonder Man's it's out, people are gonna watch it, it'll have its moment of conversation, and then it will move on. Well, I actually do think it matters, and I actually do think that it's just one more example of fans. Like, I think a lot of Marvel fans yesterday, I'm not talking about you guys, but I'm talking about just a lot of Marvel fans yesterday, like, watched the Daredevil trailer and were like, ugh, geez. And then heard about Wonder Man, maybe tried it out or just watched some other video on it. And it's like they had multiple interactions with the brand in really focused and big ways. And I think that there was a negative thing that happened, and many different fans walked away from engaging with the brand with negative feelings and thoughts. And I just don't know if Marvel is even aware that that is what is going on. And so I just, again, I have to bring this up. It is so unpopular within my own community. My community fucking hates it. I have chat minimized right now. I'm not looking at chat. But I'm telling you right now, my community fucking hates it when I get into these kind of conversations. But I have to. I see what is happening. It is embarrassing that we dropped a whole ass show yesterday and a trailer for the next upcoming dope ass show, and the response was like a fart in the wind. It's a sign of damage. If you don't adjust for the damage, you're never going to start repairing it. You're never going to get people to be like, yo, Marvel. No. Marvel Comics is getting cooked. Marvel Television is getting cooked. Even Marvel games are getting cooked. Bro, this is brand. It's like, do they understand it? I don't know. Doomsday and Spectacle and Marvel's juice holds a lot of promise. I mean, I kind of think Marvel is a brand that is somewhat like fatigue proof, in the sense that they've constantly like reinvented themselves, tried new things, explored new stuff. Like, look at the comics. Like, they've done some really cool things and they change it up. But I don't see that with Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios thinks, from my perspective, that it can just keep doing what it does. It does this little eclectic thing over here, this little flavor of this little that, and then we got big Avengers movies, big X-Men movies. But I'm telling you, one of these things is actually hurting the other. It's hurting the other. So I can't celebrate Wonder Man, and I don't give a flying fuck how good it is. I don't care at all. Zero interest. You want to know what's fucking trending when it comes to Wonder Man? Shit like this, dude. I shit you not. These are the posts I keep seeing about Wonder Man. The Matrix is officially canon as it is referenced in Wonder Man. Christopher Nolan is canon because it's referenced in Wonder Man. I'm sorry. Who gives a shit about any of that? Oh my fucking God. So, fuck Wonder Man. I'm really worried about Daredevil. And ultimately, I'm just worried about Marvel Studios. Like, wasn't the problem, and I'll look at chat in a second here, and you're going to trigger the fuck out of me. Don't, just, you know, some of you don't. Some of you just don't. But I will look at chat in just a minute. But let me just tell you one other thing that's going on here, okay? Wasn't it agreed upon that one of the big problems with Marvel in Phase 4 and 5, and potentially into Phase 6, is that Kevin Feige was stretched thin? So if that is the case, and we know he didn't do dick all on Wonder Man. Let's be honest. Like, if Justin Kroll is to be believed, you know, for over a year now, Kevin has been basically solely focused on Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Then why Wonder Man? And also, how am I supposed to feel confident about Daredevil Season 2? Isn't this the exact same thing that was going on before? If you want different results, you have to take different action. I'm not seeing it. And look, maybe it's just an overreaction. Maybe I'm just freezing my tuchus off, and I'm just a little bit irritated about the state of fandom. But I look at Dragon Ball. People are so fucking excited about Dragon Ball. Part of the reason why is because it was gone for so long. It's like genuine excitement that it is back. Marvel has done nothing but just flood our fucking faces for years. And yes, I do think that means they should have canceled some of these projects. Like, is that clear? Is that what's going on? So I'm not saying that, like, they're completely fucked, but I got to tell you, man, yesterday was genuinely a day that really concerned me as a fan. Like, really concerned me. I was like, dude, that Daredevil trailer ain't got no motion. Wonder Man? I wonder, man. Why'd they make that show? Okay, you fucking buttholes in chat. Go ahead. Let me have it. Let me have it. You're so mad. Go ahead. I'll look at chat and I'll try not to get too triggered. Josh, only want to watch RDJ and Chris Evans films, so Wonder Man is a no-no. Yeah, you're actually not too far off there. Yeah. We lagged hard at the beginning. Missed most of your speech. No fucking way. Female custodians, you goddamn butthole. Read both of my supers. Zach says, I love you. Sorry, we are a bunch of turds. It's okay, man. I'm a turd too. Den of Ultra... what? I can't read that shit, dog. I can't read that shit. Zach says, unfortunately, we still have Vision Quest to get us past the bullshit mentality from Phase 4. I honestly still believe that Doomsday will get us back. Dude, but here's what I'm trying to say. This is a part of the fucking the segment. This is a part of what I'm trying to say. This is the take. We all are operating under the impression, or at least a lot of us are, that things are different and that this is all just in the pipeline still and it's whatever. But, like, what if it's not? Like, I'm legit telling you, I don't think this is sustainable. And in fact, I think you need to come to terms with the fact that there's so much damage that you should probably do like one show a year, if that. You let them miss you and cook on Doomsday and cook on Secret Wars. Absolutely. But then just feeling like you had to release this shit, 8 projects in 2025, and we start this year with Wonder Man. Brother, I don't care about the 12 coastal elite influencer motherfuckers that think the show's so clever. They don't matter. They watched all the shit anyway. They weren't... Rossi says, on a positive note, Fallout Season 2 is one of the best seasons in all of television I've ever seen. I've really enjoyed it. The release time to 9 p.m. Tuesday. Yeah, you know what's funny about Fallout? This is a real side tangent. Okay, this is a real side tangent. Fallout's viewership is weak this year. You know, and it's weird. And I think part of the reason they changed the time is because they're a little worried. And I don't even get it. Like, I'm kind of curious. Have you guys seen this? Do you see that the viewership is soft for Fallout? And what do you think the explanation for that is? Now, Fallout's a good show. I really like Fallout. I've been enjoying this season. It does have a little bit of a different vibe than the first season. But I'm just as a person that covers media and pop culture, when I see something like that, I'm interested. I'm like, that is kind of interesting. Why? We're all content fatigued? Maybe. I mean, there's truth in that. But Trev, is that not does that not explain my whole fucking point? Does that not explain why I'm so frustrated? Maybe we are all content fatigued, which means maybe no matter how wonderful Agatha, Echo, Wonder Man are, they should have been put in a trash can and lit on fire. Like, isn't that what I'm getting at, dog? You know? Jane says, I'm here for the cold air between Josh's cheeks. God damn it! I can't believe I read that twice. MCU Stone Temple Pilots without Scott Weiland. Yeah, like that. But I'm when I say stuff like that, I'm not just trying to talk shit. I'm trying to get you to understand at a more intuitive level why so many people are checked out. Like, that's what it is. That's what, like, what, dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Red Room Gaming says, not to be an echo chamber, but definitely not watching Wonder Man. That shit looks ass. And the Daredevil trailer left little to no excitement for me. Yeah, and like, I guess I'm sorry that I have to be that asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm sorry that I gotta be that guy. But like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And then like, if Marvel just thinks that like all of these people, because there's incentive, like this is probably why like I get myself into trouble, why I'm considered toxic, why Marvel doesn't fuck with me, and honestly probably a little bit why like we don't have more growth, because some people are just here to hear me hoorah for Marvel, and they like it, and they like the theories, and they like getting excited, and they like getting hyped. I like that shit too, man. But I also like can't just fucking look past what I am seeing. And honestly, I'm ADHD and I get hyperfixated on shit. So like I, tend to make a mountain out of a molehill. But at the same time, like there's truth in what I'm saying. And if they don't get it, they're fucked. Like that I truly feel that way. If they don't get it, they're fucked. It was not a good day yesterday. It was not a good day for Marvel. And I think a lot of these days, a lot of these experiences, it's like as simple as, how do people interact with the brand now? How do people interact with the brand now? I think it's mostly through rumor, news, social media post, whatever, and not even the content that they put out. And when you have a trailer come out and a show drop all in one day, first of all, how are the content creators even supposed to fucking make content about that? But also, like, if a lot of the conversation around it is like middling to negative, then all you're doing is adding to that narrative like Marvel was the guy that peaked in high school. You know what I mean? All the Doomsday stuff acts counter to that, where it's like, we are back. This is exciting once again, right? It brings in this promise, this like newness, this excitement. Marvel believes it's such a lifestyle brand that it can do shows like Wonder Man, that it can do all of this stuff and it's not going to hurt them. I would argue the proof is in the fucking pudding, and it has hurt them. And I'm just like, wait, what where's the adults? Hello? Where's the adults? Crazy. All right. Star Wars Sith says, I love Warhammer, and you're right. It's the future. Thanks, bud. I was bored and needed to kill time and watch Wonder Man. Felt like a good Netflix show about actors in LA. Didn't feel like Marvel at all. Right. And that's great. I had the experience of like, man, I don't know what I want to watch. Wonder Man is out. Maybe it is good. Oh, wait, fuck that. I don't give a shit. I'll probably just roll my eyes, get really angry, get triggered. I'd rather stare at a wall. Like, I literally thought to myself, I was like, oh, man, it would be so funny. What if I binged Wonder Man last night and I did a stream like this and I said, I actually did watch it. You know what? It is really, really good and all that. And every part of that future experience, every part of it ended up just pissing me off, making me angry. And I was like, you know what I'll do instead? I'll fucking rage on my own community that has given me a dream job in a life that I should really be grateful for. That's what Marvel in the past 4 years does to a motherfucker. Anyway, Raji says MCU is Warhammer with female Costanzo. Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! All of my friends are watching Fallout. Oh, all your friends, huh, Raji? Well, that's why. The show has lower views because you ain't got no goddamn friends. I'm a nerd through and hang out with other nerds. Cool, bud. Appreciate you. Is Brad Winderbaum the problem? I don't think Brad's the problem. I mean, but I don't know at this point. I think that there's look, here's what it is. Here's what it is. Like if I was hired in as a consultant, right? Like I'd come in and I'd sit like Winterbaum down, maybe all of Parliament, Kevin himself. I'd get out a fresh salmon from the local fish market. And I would slap those motherfuckers across the face like I was running past a fence when I was a child with a stick. Just bah, 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 bah. All of them get the salmon. You all get the salmon. And then I'd be like, hey, how do you think we got here, guys? How do you think we got here? And the first person that spoke up, I'd say, shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. You all fucked it up. It doesn't matter how we got here. Let's get out of this situation. That's what the thinking should be. It should be like, how do we get out of this situation? Not like, I wonder if this was the problem. Maybe, I don't know if maybe, shut the fuck up. It's fucked, dude. Daredevil can't chart. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Purple Funk says, as a 38-year-old nerd, I remember when the best we had was the first Blade film. Things may be dark now, but they were bad before, but they can still rise again. I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate the sentiment. I get what you're saying. And, look, there's some truth in what you're saying. There was a time when there were just far fewer things, okay? But it kind of goes back to that Cocoon shit, man. Like, think about Blade. Blade specifically is such an interesting just movie, okay? So, like, dude, you get Wesley Snipes. Like, has there ever been a cooler motherfucker on the planet? I don't know. Probably not. Okay? Literally the coolest motherfucker on the planet playing this just super cool, swagged out black vampire. Okay? He says cold ass shit and all this like funny. It's awesome. Blade is fucking great. But Blade wasn't green-lit and put through production and got a release and got all of this hype and fame because like it was the next Marvel Studios thing on a fucking conveyor belt coming out of a content factory. There were plenty of stuff that was tried to get made that didn't work or got stuck or got fucked with this, that, second, and the third. But Blade went through it. It broke through the cocoon. It was strong enough to have a life as a franchise. It was fucking phenomenal. Maybe we had better shit back when it was harder to get stuff out. Like at this point, it almost feels like Marvel Studios just goddamn greenlight any fucking thing. Anything. Like what is, like, that's actually a kind of interesting question. What is the criteria for not getting your show greenlit or your project? Because like She-Hulk got through. You know, Wonder Man got through. The Hawkeye show that's barely about Hawkeye got through. What is the criteria? Or are we literally in the state of the philosophy that anything we do can be great, it will find an audience, it's Marvel Studios, we're good? Because that feels like the old mentality, which got them into so much trouble because they made a ton of projects that nobody fucking cared about. And the quality suffered as well. We're going to get into Star Wars, and I'm going to shit all over Star Wars, too. And they're in a similar problem. They're in a similar boat. It's like, are we going to acknowledge that the fatigue is real, that what most of the active audience, and I'm not talking about the fucking butthole people on Twitter, I'm not talking about the people that are locked in no matter what, I'm talking about like the normies, right? Are we going to acknowledge where their taste is at, what they actually desire? Like, Reacher's like the biggest fucking show out, right? And it's like, Reacher's such a simple formula. Massive, jacked to the gills dude competently whoops bad guy ass. I am really worried about these franchises, man. I am really fucking worried. And it's like, the reluctance to accept that you set a shitty table or made a shitty bed is going to stop you from tearing it down completely, and then you're just going to sleep in the shitty bed or eat on the shitty table. And I don't think that works. I don't think that fixes anything. I don't think it fixes anything. Soul Jacker says, we desperately need Doomsday to clear the board, leave audiences baffled, and do that complete 180 Marvel needs. Or restore the Snyderverse. Why not both? Why not both, man? Daisy Ridley cast as the first female custodian incoming. Yeah, no, that sounds fucking terrible. Thank you. I don't like sand. Very good rage bait. CB the Legend says, if Wonder Man charts higher than Peacemaker, I'll die laughing. Dude, I'll eat a poop. I will eat a poo. In some countries, it's considered a delicacy, you know? I'll die laughing. It's one of the highest rated Disney Plus shows ever. Sign me up for the Josh Meltdown. Look, I think it's possible that Wonder Man does chart because they released 8 episodes in the middle of like basically a pretty dry season. Like Fallout's coming out. And so it'll probably chart, but it'll chart for 1 week, maybe 1 weekend. If Wonder Man ended up having legs and actually like climbed to some of the numbers that I think Reacher gets, was like, I'm pretty sure Reacher last season, let's just look at it. I'm pretty sure we read some of the stats for what Reacher's viewership was last season, and we were like, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't even make sense. Also, I'm going to end this segment because it's been 34 minutes and I'm just hating. I'm just fucking hating, you know? Okay, total viewership for Reacher season 3, 54.6 million global viewers in its first 19 days of release. If Wonder Man gets even close to that, I will eat a poop. I bet you could stack up the entire MCU Disney Plus catalog and it would barely get to that for its whole duration. What are we talking about, dude? Like, what are we talking about? That's ridiculous. 56% of its viewership came from outside of the United States. Everybody loves it. Everybody. My God. But anyway, CB the Legend, appreciate you. Good content. Good content, you know? The poop jokes are wild. Yeah, they are a little wild. Wonder Man could damage content after Doomsday and Secret Wars if people don't care enough about the... Yeah, because what you're doing is you're telling your audience that Marvel basically cooks up 2 different things. One that's awesome and that you like, and then crap that isn't for you. I'm not saying that. Marvel's saying that. They're continuing to say that. And I think that, like, I actually think there's truth in them, like, really wanting to signal that. Because this whole lifestyle brand obsession is a part of the problem. Like, they want Wonder Man, and they want, oh my God. I just don't think they have an appreciation for how cooked it is. They clearly should have canceled more projects. They absolutely should not have released 8 projects in 2026. And Wonder Man has kicked the entire year off from Marvel on the day that they released a real goobly glob trailer for Daredevil Season 2 in a bad way. That's what I'm trying to say. Eater V says, watch your blood pressure, Unc. Oh, it's cooked, man. It's cooked. You want to talk about cooked? Marvel's cooked, Star Wars is cooked. My blood pressure is cooked. Okay, is that satisfying? Is that enough hating? Last thing I have written in my notes here is kind of funny. I genuinely don't know if they can overcome this. On to Star Wars. On to Star Wars. Star Wars. Okay, so we got to talk about this new report here from Star Wars. It's depressing. And I think this guy here, Drew Bricks, shout out to Drew Bricks, incredible take here. He quote tweets this thing from Cosmic Marvel, which says Dave Filoni's Mandoverse film will reportedly be reworked into a limited series for Disney Plus if The Mandalorian and Grogu flops at the box office. Okay, so that's the report. Drew Bricks quote tweets this and says, really cool and awesome that my favorite film franchise has a kill switch on their big climax film because they're not confident enough that the $500 million IMAX film that they're releasing in 4 months is going to do well. That really is the take. That really is the whole kit and caboodle. What a sad state of affairs. So the Mando Grogu movie, which has done basically nothing to excite people, a movie that Kathleen Kennedy herself said in her exit interview she was going to go look at after this interview because she's been so focused on the next Star Wars movie, the Sean Levy movie. Mando and Grogu, a movie, I mean, the stuff I've heard about Mando and Grogu is terrible, okay? Jabba's son, please don't, no. Mando and Grogu, a movie that wasn't even announced at the Star Wars Celebration when they announced the new slate and the 3 new movies. Mando and Grogu, a movie likely dictated by either Bob Iger or somebody at Disney because all the movies they did announce were fucked up and couldn't release on time. Mando and Grogu. A side story of a show that jumped the shark. Mando and Grogu. So, it's just so fucking depressing. So, okay, let's just try to fucking pull ourselves together. Pull yourself together, chat. We got to talk about this. Is Mando Grogu gonna bomb? I kind of think so, dude. Like, the He-Man trailer, the one that everybody's like, I don't know about that, but I was like, oh, it looks kind of fun. That has like 20 million plus views on it since last week. The last Mando and Grogu trailer has like 15, and it's been out for months. There is like not a lot of signs that Mando and Grogu, is going to do well. I think there's a question as to like how many old people that are not on Twitter or social media just will recognize Star Wars and like go out and see it. And maybe there's a lot of people like myself that'll bitch and moan and frankly hate that might still go see it. Perhaps Star Wars has the cachet to be that thing, the toxic partner that we just can't escape, right? And we're in an abusive relationship and, you know, it's not his fault. And he really does love me. This is really sad to hear. I mean, first of all, when Kathy did her exit interview, I believe she referenced the Dave movie being on the back burner. And that sucks ass because I thought that would be really, really cool. And then you hear this and you're like, whoa, okay, so they're literally going to look at Mando and Grogu. And if it doesn't do well and if it bombs, they're going to turn the movie, Dave Filoni's first, well, he kind of directed a Clone Wars movie, but we don't really talk about that. His first Star Wars movie, live action, the heir to George Lucas, doing a version of Timothy Zahn's story with all these fun characters. That movie might get turned into a limited series. So why would they do that, chat? Like, let's just start there, right? Like, why would they do that? What's the logic, right? The logic is, if we can't make money on it, and it's embarrassing to the brand to have it flop, then we're better off releasing it on Disney Plus at a lower budget, where the numbers, even though Nielsen and Luminate and some of these other things will tell on us a little bit, we don't have to release any actual numbers, and it won't be as embarrassing or as costly. That is the calculus. That's what they're thinking. And that is just such a sad state of affairs. I mean, it shows the sort of commercialization of the brand. Star Wars used to just be a thing that, like, this one fucking nerd named George Lucas had a vision for, and he would tell, you know, he would have these stories and cook and, frankly, piss off a lot of the audience and didn't give a fuck. and now it's so over commercialized that the corporation, the very corporation that greenlit a film that is a show, a side quest in a show, is now going to hold up the results of that very stupid boneheaded decision as the metric by which they might smash down Dave's idea, make it small, put it on Disney Plus. I mean, what an embarrassing situation, dude. Like, that's crazy. But here's the other side of it, and this is where I'm really going to piss some of you guys off. By the way, are you having fun today, chat? Throw a 1 into the chat if you're having fun. Have I pissed you off a lot? Don't bring it up. But here I go. Here's the other side of this that is, like, crazy. Another, like, reason this makes sense, guys, from Disney's perspective, another reason that they might actually cancel or shrink down in Disney Plus Dave's movie is because Dave's movie is an Endgame-like story with all the Filoni-verse or Mandoverse characters, okay? This is where it gets a little crazy because as I like, that shit hit me like a brick wall where I was like, because, like, you know, I like to think about these things. I try to, like, find an angle on it or come up with a cool metaphor or whatever, right? So I was, like, thinking about this and I was like, what is the I mean, I understand maybe the financial thing, but the other side of it is Dave's movie might literally be a sequel to Mando and Grogu in the sense that it's Mando, Grogu, rule with respect, Boba, you know, no Gina, Dave Filoni himself as the pilot, Rebels characters, Ahsoka characters, Bo-Katan, you know, it's like all of those characters and Thrawn, and it's a big Endgame culmination Avengers thing. And then when I thought about that, I was like, bro, I don't even want that. Oh, yeah, Jude Law and the Skeleton Kids, they're going to be in this shit too. And the more I thought about it, I was like, dude, fuck that. It's like 7 years too late for that. Like, it's so bad, dude. I don't even want that movie. I don't even want that series. Heir of the Empire should be Luke fucking Skywalker coming back, you know, assembling hope and fighting against Thrawn and all kinds of crazy shit. It shouldn't be the goobly glob Mandoverse rule with respect Boba and the Skeleton Kids doing some weird ass crossover. I actually don't care about that. So what a fucker of a thing. Where on the one hand, I'm super upset, I'm super mad because this movie, the Mando Grogu movie, which seems like such a stupid idea, is going to now prevent Dave's movie from happening, which could be really cool. And the other side of it is like, wait a minute, maybe the reason they're doing that is because this stupid goobly glob movie that I don't even think is a good idea is the fucking formula for Dave's movie. Fuck you, Grogu. Fuck out of here. And it just shows how cooked Star Wars is. Guys, look, I'm really not trying to be like super toxic about this. I think I am at this point, but like real talk here. Do we need a Mandoverse crossover at this point? Like, I really don't think so. And beyond that, is Star Wars so focused on preserving what they view as the things they've invested in and their assets that they can't see that a better future would be to leave it all behind, go completely fresh, be true to the spirit of Star Wars, but create something new. There's so much baggage. There's so much bullcrap. There's so many problems with everything that they've done. I don't think we live in a day and age where you can rehabilitate Anakin Skywalker from the prequels in a fucking series that goes 12 seasons. I don't think we live in that world anymore. And this is part of why people like Harloff are concerned about Filoni. Because Filoni looks at this, you know, I think the perspective of many is that Filoni looks at this situation as like the way we right the ship is we just do what we've been doing, but better and more in line with George's vision. And I got to tell you, no, like that ain't it, dog. That ain't it. I don't think that's going to work. You are underestimating the amount or the lack of fucks that people give about a lot of the shit you cooked. It's not operating the way you think it is. You cannot put those pieces together. You cannot make Star Wars for the next 5 to 6 years Ahsoka Rebel character Mando verse Rey trilogy. What the fuck? And this again, it goes back to what I feel about Marvel. If they can't acknowledge where they're at, if they can't acknowledge where the audience is at, then the space between those two things is only going to grow. Right? So this story, man, this fucking story, Dave Filoni's Mandoverse film reported to be reworked into a limited series. Why? So that then we can all be like, yeah, this is kind of lame, and guess we're doing that same old Star Wars thing again. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, I acknowledge that there are things Dave likes to do and instincts that he have that I enjoy and that are more in line with the Star Wars that I like. But again, it's not really even about that. It's more about how is the wider audience of normies and people out there viewing Star Wars. Guys, when I talk about Star Wars with my Warhammer friends, like, because I have Warhammer friends, right? And Warhammer content creators and podcasters, and like, to them and also to a lot of their community, Star Wars is like completely cooked. They view Cavill's thing and they're like, I'm worried that it'll become like Star Wars or become like Rings of Power, because Rings of Power is on Amazon. Like, I just don't know if people truly appreciate how cooked the Disney brands are to people outside of our bubble. Like, it is so bad. It's junk food. It's considered slop. You know what I mean? Like, all of those things still apply. And it's just depressing for me. Like, dude, look, for real. I've been covering this stuff for 9 years. When I got into this 9 years ago, I was incredibly excited about both franchises. And I made a lot of positive content going through those franchises as they went on. We are in a completely different time, space, reality situation. It is completely different. And to many other people out there, they look at what Disney did to these brands as like the worst possible thing. And they are super concerned about any of their live action adaptations or anything that they have going on, that it will do the same thing. You know, maybe it's a Hollywood thing. People just think Hollywood fucks everything up. I think it's like a commercialism thing. They're just out of touch. The Mando Grogu could have worked as a movie instead of season 3 with the Luke Skywalker lead in, and then it would have been like actually good. A Dave Filoni Mandoverse movie that's Heir to the Empire could have worked. It should have come out literally 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like this, we are at the same time not fixing problems, and then we are just taking forever to execute on our actual plan, which isn't even good. And I'm telling you, the audiences are moving on. The audiences are moving on. So that's sort of my take. That's my feelings here. And I mean, like, guys, like, I'm sorry. It's a negative stream today. I'm in a fucking bad mood. And part of it's because, like, I do this shit for a living. And it's like, when are these companies going to wake the fuck up? Dude, this ain't it. This ain't it. So I am very concerned, very irritated, and I don't know. I mean, at least Marvel has Doomsday and Spider-Man and other things going on. When it comes to Star Wars, man, Jesus. Like, so now, if Mando and Grogu bombs, we don't even get the Heir to the Empire. It's a limited series. Wow. All right, anyways, what do you all think about this? Let me have it. Go ahead. You're so angry. I can feel your anger. John Staten, YouTube for the 10 spot. Appreciate it, brother. Says, we're living in a time where the One World Under Doom event in the build up to Doomsday has people sitting around talking the whole issue about absolute Batman is fighting a skyscraper-sized Bane. Yeah, no, facts. Marvel's getting destroyed in comics. And the All-In initiative and what Scott Snyder and all of them boys did is, it's not just like successful, it's genius. You know, like Jim Lee was just talking about like manga and manga versus American comics and all this shit. And he basically, I think he just really said some goobly glob. But like Scott Snyder, without saying shit about that, has tapped in to one of the reasons that this phenomenon is happening. And instead of like giving you a fucking comment about it. He just walked the walk. He just made anime Batman. You don't know what absolute Batman is? Anime Batman. He's Baki Batman. He's Dragon Ball Batman. He's over-the-top Batman. With a Scott Snyder sort of body horror twist thing. You know what I mean? I like Scott's stuff. But that's what it is. Like, he did the thing. He walked the walk. He made it spectacle and incredible. And it's fucking crushing. And it's like Disney doesn't feel like they can do anything like that. Why? Why not? Like, would you literally rather just have your brands erode and have this lifestyle brand replace this thing that people were truly passionate about? That doesn't seem like a good formula. So, yeah, it's a good point, man. It's a good point. Iger did the same thing to Moana 2. I don't know what you mean by that. They should have just done Din and Boba buddy cop movie. Yeah, they should have, but at this point, like, I truly do not care. I don't want any of that, you know? I'll take my kids to see Mando and Grogu. Okay, good for you. Star Wars is not dead, but it is when it is on Disney+. It needs to be back in theaters. Oof, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there's certainly something to be said for what that feels like and the fans' perception of that. Doesn't feel good, right? Doesn't feel good. All right, let me try to get this. This message was redacted, so I assume you said some bullshit. But thanks anyway. Let's see here. Broom Kid will return in Doomsday. Jesus. I thought you didn't want the movie either, though. I don't know what you mean. What movie? Emo Eric says, I am so far off the beaten path with Star Wars compared to 10 years ago. I started reading EU, and it may have a lot of slop, but it's more of my Star Wars. Yeah, totally. I agree with you. Those EU books are great. And man, it's crazy they cooked it with that many people that were so passionate about this thing. So many storytellers that wanted to line up and tell stories within that universe. To have fucked all of that up is kind of impressive. Warhammer Heresy, thank you for a gifted membership, man. Really appreciate it. Mando Grogu is the test of the true Star Wars fandom. Maybe. Why so negative today? Because Disney fucked up all the franchises I care about. That's why. I'm going to walk into M&G, Mando Grogu, with my brain turned off so I can hopefully enjoy it. Yeah, well, look, the trailer should drop any second. Like, the trailer either drop, well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But the trailer should drop. They need to really cook with that trailer. Like, I'm actually serious. This movie is like, has no sauce, no motion. I think it just reserves a spot for some people that have an affinity for Star Wars and are just like, yes, I will go into theater to watch Star Wars. That sounds like a good time. But that's like, that ain't it, dude. Like, that's not actual motion. That's not excitement. I bet the He-Man movie makes more money than Mando and Grogu. I bet Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter make more than Mando and Grogu. What are they gonna do if that actually happens? You know what I mean? CB the Legend says, just take off until Doomsday SB trailer next week. Is the Super Bowl next week? Thank God. Brutal the Bear says, be excellent to each other and party on, nerds. Positive vibes, reinforcement, Nerd Vengeance for life. Ban him. I want him out of here. Tony Lanza says, don't care about Star Wars. DBZ is back, baby. Hell yeah, let him know. Souljacker says, best Star Wars content coming up is Spaceballs 2, to be honest. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. Yeah, I agree with that. The He-Man movie looks awesome. It does look awesome. February 8th, great. I saw the Mando trailer yesterday in the theater. It was lackluster, to say the least. Oh, shit. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm supposed to be excited about this movie. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm supposed to be excited about this movie. What's that doc called where we watched about Stan Lee versus Jack? Oh, man. I don't remember. It's in the archives, though. You can find the video. CB the Legend says, sending you a Wonder Man hot toy. Comic book Wonder Man? Like the one from the comics? Is that? Because I'll take that. Leaks say Doctor Doom will appear at the end of Michael Jackson's movie. Is that true? 100% confirmed, yeah. Wow, I'm getting banned. What a life. I'm just kidding, Bruto. I have the power. Yes. What are your thoughts on Josh D'Amaro becoming the new Disney CEO? I don't really know much about this guy, man. Did he come up within the company? Until they bring myth and operatic grandeur back to Star Wars, I'm never going to care like I used to. I think part of the problem with Star Wars and Marvel is that they are now an asset to a huge company that demands revenue and also usage of those brands to continue to make money. So, like, Star Wars probably needs, like, a 10-year break, just to be honest with you. Like, Star Wars should go away for an entire decade. They should go away for a decade and come back with a well-thought-out trilogy and do something new. But they literally won't. Like, they literally will not do that because Disney is going to be like, no, fuck you. Shut up and dribble. Like, make us some shit. And, like, there is a way you could do it. There's a way you could do it. You could satisfy the corporate masters and actually get the fans to sort of slowly understand and turn around on the brand overall. But I don't think that's even, like, within their thought process. Like, I don't even think they're considering that. You know? Lucasfilm needs new IP for current times. New IP? I mean, maybe, but, like, how are you supposed to approach new IP for Lucasfilm, the company that fucked up two of the best IPs ever? Like, that's crazy, dude. Like, so what is Lucasfilm supposed to do? Show you the new thing that they're definitely not going to fuck up? Lucasfilm's like, well, we ruined Wicked, Indiana Jones, and Star Wars. But we're going to do better this time. Here's our new IP. Okay. Labas Diaries with a 5-star says, I'm part of the silent majority that agrees with everything you said. I call for a vote of no confidence against Supreme Chancellor Trev. Please stream tomorrow. Look, I'm probably not streaming tomorrow, I'm going to be honest. And it is partially because you guys are so irritating. But also, like, the world is fucking chaotic. And, like, I opened Twitter this morning, and I was just, like, over it, dude. Like, I'm just like, this crazy thing's going on. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's so divided about this. This crazy thing's going on. Everybody's so opinionated and divided about this. I want to break from, like, everything. Like, I just want to sit in my room, paint my little Warhammer guys, listen to my audiobook, and like, I don't want any of this. I like the job. Like, I'm happy to be able to just get on a microphone, get on the internet, yap, and make money. It's awesome. But, like, let's be fucking real. The internet is a degenerate hive of scum and villainy. It's a factory where they just literally blast our fucking limbic system with, like, amygdala-inducing rage on a daily basis. And I'm dealing with it. You guys are dealing with it. Everybody's fucking dealing with it. We're all dialed to 11. And then we get in here and try to talk about shit. And yeah, some of us are going to come with some energy. Some of us are going to come with some aggression because we're all fucking exhausted. This world is ridiculous. The fuck is going on out there? Shit is so stupid. And all the takes are stupid. And all the opinions are stupid. All the fucking projections are stupid. And we got another storm. That is fucking stupid as well. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's all of us. And we're all just irritated and exhausted and like, what the fuck is going on? So, yeah, probably not streaming tomorrow. Chris said with a 10 spot, D. Morrow was the VP of the Disneyland Resort. Okay. Then the VP of all parks and experiences. Okay. He goes to visit Imagineering all the time. And he comes from parks, so he understands the creative process. Okay, yeah, all of that seems positive. How does he feel about the Rey trilogy? All of us, but mostly just you. Yeah, for sure. Probably, yeah. Well, it is different, though. Like, to be fair, I've been on both sides of it. I like being in chat more. Because you can just be super shitty and try to trigger the streamer, and you can say the wildest shit possible, and it actually like feels good. Like I've been like, so I'll go into like Valorac's stream and say like just some wild ass shit. You know what I mean? I get it. Like I totally get it. It's awesome. But I'm on the other side of it, and I see all of your bullshit, and I don't know that I'm handling it well. So. Rage baiting is fun. It is fun. It is fun. I trigger no one. Oh, yeah? Stop spamming Chapik Cope. What is Chapik Cope? What are you talking about, dude? You take a break every third day. Stop being a lazy piece of shit. Just kidding. You're allowed to do what you want. It's your channel. Yeah, for sure, man. There's a balance, though, of like, am I just doing this because I don't want to face the struggle? That's a little bit of weak sauce. However, if it's more like, hey, a little bit of rest and recalibration would allow me to better face that the next time, and then we have more fun and everything's better. That's good. That's actually acceptable. I was watching this one. You ever watch that? Y'all ever watch that cowboy dude that does the videos where he just talks about life and shit? Y'all ever seen that? So let me stop this segment too, because we're 26 minutes into this. I don't even know what I said today. I blacked out. All I know is I literally almost turned the stream off within 5 minutes because of Trev. That's all I know for sure. But so that cowboy dude, right? He was like telling this story one time about how he was working in some kind of village, helping with like either some building stuff or like some medicine stuff. I don't even know exactly what he does. But he talked about how he signed up to go to this other village without knowing how far it was and without knowing how hard it was actually going to be to get there. And he kind of had this moment of like, oh, shit, I still have so far to go. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. What do I do? And he said what he did was went as long as he could and then would take a little break. And then when felt rested, would then go as far as he could and take another little break. Now, when he got to his destination, he took deep rest. Didn't work the next day, took totally deep rest, and actually took the proper rest. But sometimes, as you are forging through a challenge or a process or aiming at a goal, you will get punched in the mouth. You will get fatigued. Things will go wrong. And I think it is okay to take a small break and then get back up and work on that goal. You know what I mean? So it's a balance, but I do think it's important to take breaks and to take rest, even when you're driving at a goal. Another cool story that kind of like explains this a little bit too is, so there are two dudes working in a forest and they're chopping down trees. Okay? Now the one guy, he goes there, he shows up at 6 a.m. and he whacks these fucking trees for 12 hours straight till 6, and then he leaves. The other guy goes in the forest, starts whacking these trees at 6, and at 11, he takes an hour-and-a-half break, and he comes back, and then he whacks these fucking trees until 6 p.m. And every single day, the guy that leaves for an hour-and-a-half ends up chopping more wood. And the first guy is like, I don't understand this. Like, I'm working harder than him. I don't take a break. What's the deal? And he asked the other guy, he said, where do you go when you leave? You know what the guy says? Some of you have heard this story before. Do you know what the guy says? He says, I go home to sharpen my axe. And it's like, therein is some serious wisdom. Some serious wisdom. You got to sharpen your axe, dog. Bro streams 2 hours a day, twice a week, and needs breaks. Yeah, for sure. And I actually wish it was like that. I wish I only did it twice a week for 2 hours. In fact, would you guys be comfortable, thanks to this guy? What's this guy's name? Oh, SC Collects. So SC Collects is actually bringing up a really interesting point. What if I just stream twice a week for 2 hours? That is actually probably the solution to the problems. And I'll still take breaks. I think SC Collects has just given me such a good idea. Maybe it'd be like Monday, Thursday, maybe Monday, Friday, maybe Tuesday, Saturday, twice a week, and I'll still take breaks. Thank you, SC Collects. Appreciate it. Thoughts on the first Doomsday trailer during the Super Bowl? Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been thinking that's what it is, right? That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. The long-ass streams are peak. Okay, chat. One more topic. One more thing to go over. I'd probably have to admit that the first part of today's stream, a little bit depressing. I was a little bit triggered. Super negative. I'm really worried about these franchises. I was kind of a butthole. Do you agree? Put a 1 into the chat. Do you think it was kind of... Should we turn it around? Should we try to pick up the vibes? I was kind of a butthole, huh? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Throw a 1 into the chat if you think I was a little bit too mean, a little bit too negative, and was kind of a butthole. Mods, ban everybody putting 1 into the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Get them out of here. Done with the Star Wars topic. You played yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Don't ban him. Okay, listen. Shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. It's time to get positive. It's time to get excited. And it's time to talk about why Warhammer is the future. I got a full-ass script. Let's go. We're fucking talking about Warhammer. And it's going to be an interactive segment. And it's going to be how all the bad shit that's happening with Marvel and Star Wars will be avoided by the Warhammer franchise and the Warhammer cinematic universe. Step up, young lad. Take your swing. First part of the discussion. Anything you can do, Warhammer can do better. That's right. What do I mean by that? Well, let's get a little interactive. Let's talk with chat. Let's get you guys involved. Let me ask you a question. What makes the great nerdy content? You know the great nerdy content, the content we love. What makes it great? What makes it exciting? What do you like about it? Like, what is it about Star Wars that you like? What is it about Marvel that you like? What do you like? We want big, masculine men. Yeah, okay. Lore. Damn. Okay, lore. That's a good one. That's a good one. So what lore? What lore? Lore in Marvel, the lore in Star Wars? That's an interesting one. Playing with the dolls. Yeah. Women. Okay, interesting. Not really my thing. You know, I don't want women in any of this shit. No, I'm just kidding. Women are great. Yeah, I like toxic fandoms. Beautiful. Connection. Spectacle. I think that's a great answer. Female custodies. Ban that motherfucker. Spectacle with all caps. Hell yeah. World building. Love it. Love it. Let me throw a couple of things at you, okay? I think great nerdy content has several things that it's just like across the board, they all have it, okay? Number 1, hype-ass moments. Hype-ass moments. Moments that get us fucking excited. Moments that when our friend goes to see the movie and they haven't seen it, we're like, dude, I can't wait to talk to you about this one thing that happens. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but oh my God. Hype-ass moments. Hype-ass moments in trailers. Hype-ass moments in the shows. Hype-ass moments. I think it's universal for exciting, nerdy franchises. You know what else? Aura farming characters. When Star Wars was Star Wars, it was aura farming. When Marvel was Marvel, it had aura farming. You want to know why anime is so fucking popular? Aura farming. What are some other awesome nerdy things? Why am I yelling? I don't know, but I'm yelling too. Holding the Infinity Gates. Brothers, hype-ass moments, aura farming characters. Right? Aura farming characters. This is something we love. We love this aura farming motherfuckers. That's why we're excited about Doom. He's going to aura farm. Okay? Good lore that gives context. A lot of you guys already threw lore into it, and I agree that the lore is important for all good nerdy things, but what the lore really does is serve for context. It gives us context for the characters' motivations, and it also helps us to contextualize what the characters are doing and how they're treating each other while they're aura farming and beating each other's asses with hype ass moments. I actually think that's a really important one, and obviously some level of emotional resonance, okay? Now, all of these different nerdy franchises that have had peak content, that have had good things, they have those things in varying degrees. The formula by which they put them together is unique to each one, right? But I'm telling you right now, Warhammer has all of that shit. Let's go through it again. Hype-ass moments. Dude, Warhammer is basically nothing but hype-ass moments. Y'all seen the Amazon secret level episode. It's like like they run into the cultists and just fucking annihilate them. Then it literally cuts to them in the thing fighting the demons. You know what I mean? It's like Warhammer is based on these hype-ass moments. Its lore is filled with hype-ass moments. And I'm excited to see, because like even like the books, as the books release, there's hype moments. Moments that get people excited and hyped up in either the novels or the video game trailers or the upcoming video game. Like, it has that shit. Let's talk about aura farming. Dude. It's like the amount of drip. One of the things that Bricky, who's like a really big influencer, YouTuber, streamer in, you know, he's a Warhammer fan and he does a lot of Warhammer content. In one of his really big videos, and I'm talking about a video that's like, it's so popular that people are getting tons of views off reacting to it, breaking down all the factions. One of the things that Bricky says, and I think it's like one of the first things he says in that video, is Warhammer figured out what all other franchises seem to forget, and that is that the villains have the best drip. It's just true, man. The villains have the best drip. So what Warhammer did was, everybody's a villain. Everybody's got the drip. Now, it's not exactly like that because the Imperium of Man is still technically the good guys, but it's like everybody has that villain drip. And that aura farming, it is seriously unfucking believable. I think this is one of the things about Warhammer that is undeniable. And I actually think it's one of the big sort of gateway drugs into Warhammer. You literally just see Horus with the powers. You literally just see Seasman. Like, you just see the Lion. You just see some of these characters. And you're like, damn, what's this shit about? And it kind of gets you interested and gets you in there. Good lore, get the fuck out of here. Warhammer has the best lore other than the modernization of the female custodians and the shit that they're trying to gaslight about us about. Put that aside. Warhammer has incredible lore. The context, the depth. You know, I was thinking about, like, seriously, I was kind of thinking about this. So Marvel and Star Wars kind of have these unique problems. They're dealing with the over-commercialization. You know, they're dealing with an unsatisfied and fatigued audience. And I don't think they're handling, you know, any of that shit well. But one of the reasons that Marvel's doing a little bit better than Star Wars is because Star Wars is like, anytime you make a Star War, it's like the story. It's the thing. It's very hard to make a sort of sub-story or a little side event thing there. It's like, no, it's Star Wars. That's the story. Part of why The Last Jedi was so devastating is because it's the whole fucking canon. It's the whole story. Like, Luke drinking the titty milk, that's my hero, dog. This isn't some random person in charge of one thing on one side of the galaxy with a singular faction. It's the whole story. Warhammer has this really unique property where, although there are factions and things that are very popular, like Space Marine is probably the most popular, the Imperium probably the most popular, and there's a lot of effort from the company to satisfy that fandom. There's so many other fandoms, dude. And there's so many other factors, so many other factions, and so many other sides of the galaxy, you know, time periods. There's all sorts of crazy things. In a similar sense to Marvel, like, Warhammer has the ability to do all of these different things, satisfying different desires from different kinds of Warhammer fans. And the lore is a really big part of that. It is so expansive, whether it's the fucking orcs and Morgengorg and, you know, the Warbounds and all of that sort of shit, and their battles for Apocalypse, their battles against the Emperor, all this sort of. Maybe it's the Tau and their 11,000-year history of crazy evolution, and maybe they have STLs and they only live for 30 years, so they freeze themselves and awaken themselves to go into these battles, whatever, right? Maybe it's the Necrons and their whole 65-million-year-old civilization that's been cataloging the entirety of the universe for so long. It's like every part, everywhere you look in Warhammer, you can drill down an incredible amount of detail and an incredible amount of context if you're a fan for that. And it's actually like really fun. Like, I don't know shit. Like, the homie in here says Dark Eldar. I like barely know anything about the Dark Eldar. Like, I know a little bit about the Dark Eldar. You know, like, they make humans into living furniture and keep them alive forever, and they think that's really cool. And, you know, they're debaucherous and all these other things. But I don't, like, there's a lot I don't know about them. So he could come in here and say some interesting things about it or point something out in a trailer or the show. And I'd be like, that is so fucking cool. I had no idea. Like, just as like one little example, often in Warhammer, you'll see like these little cherubs that are like floating around. Dude, they're literally human children bodies that have been repurposed as little robots. And it's not like they killed the child, right? But they literally take, and it's like you wouldn't even know that these little cherub things are like flying around. And often people will say like, yeah, let's just not talk about that because we don't want to scare the normies. It's like every little thing in Warhammer that you see has depth, has lore, and is dark, dude. Dark. Really, really fucking dark. And then emotional resonance. I think the resounding emotion that is portrayed and also sort of, reflected back to the people that enjoy Warhammer is that of like impossible odds and trying to search for glory. I think that's literally it. You know, people shout for the Emperor, right? It is literally like a sort of over the top, like, yes, let's just be strong and be badass for the Emperor. It's like, it's a really simple emotion. It's like a really simple concept that I think kind of resonates throughout the entirety of the brand. Partially because I think it's so developed off of the tabletop and its long history of like being a tabletop war game. And the lore was more of a setting than a story. It was designed to give you fuel to create context and stories for your war games. And so because of that, it was never treated the same way that like Star Wars was. Now, I would argue, you know, Black Library and a lot of the stuff they're doing now is kind of driving it more in the direction of a story. But even still, there is something special about the setting. And at the end of the day, like the base level emotional resonance of Warhammer is to be powerful and glorious. And that's fucking awesome, dude. And I think it's a big part of why people really, really like it. Now, next point, and I got two more, dude. I'm not done. I'm not done. Second point. All nerdy things, all the great nerdy content that we love has a strong visual language. Let me ask you a couple of questions here. Describe to me the visual language or the things you like about Star Wars. Throw it into the chat. We'll start there. We'll do a couple of other ones here. But this is actually really important. The visual language of these nerdy things give us context. They give us a way by which we understand and set expectations. It governs the way we think of continuity. It's a very important part of it. Okay, so let's see here. Space and planets. Fair. Jedi, Sith, lightsabers, starships, speeders. Yes. Imperial ships. Yes. A little bit more. Give me a little bit more. I mean, yes, these are parts of it, but what's the visual language? Because, like, you know, all sci-fi has Imperial ships. Maybe not Imperial, but, like, what is it about that? What's the visual language for the Imperium? Lord Vader. Lord Vader, awesome. But what is it about that? Like, what's the visual language? Like, what are they communicating? Jedi, lightsabers, futuristic setting along with the familiar. Yes, lived in. Mike has a part of it there. Lived in. Now, this was more of a thing back in the day. But it was unique at the time. It's not as unique now. But this is the thing with Star Wars: a lived-in science fiction Western type of a world. It's very binary. The Imperials, very black and white, not a lot of color. Meant to literally evoke the ideas of like a regime and of military service and people following orders and all that sort of stuff. You know, the stormtroopers are white. Vader is black. The ships are not colorful. They have a very specific, very geometrical, way of being, as opposed to like you look at some of the rebel ships, whether it's it's a trap homies, or the Naboo or whatever, right? Like they are using a visual language to explain morality. There's a starkness, a coldness to the Empire, and there is like life and creativity and energy in the rebellion, right? So I think like that's part of it. The lightsaber, and what that represents. It's a blade of pure energy. It is a weapon that's able to protect and also cut through basically anything. It's revered. It's powerful. It has like such cool sound effects, and it's so awesome. And I think that part of like the visual language of that is like this idea of knighthood, of being truly elevated. When you become a knight, you literally become a different person. You have an oath, and by that oath and by the merits of your abilities, you are literally given a higher status in society, right? And the Jedi are like that, and there's been some, debate and maybe some confluence of what that actually means, but that's basically what the visual language of Star Wars is showing you. Star Wars is about morality and adventure and rising to the occasion. Okay, that's what I think the visual language to that speaks. Let's talk about Marvel. What's the visual language of Marvel? And this could be comics, this could be the MCU. What are the things in Marvel? What make up the visual language of Marvel? Either comics or the MCU. Is there a reason you stopped streaming on Twitch as well? Yeah, I just don't like Twitch, man. And YouTube is... like YouTube offers some cool features that would not be doable on Twitch. So like I can play some copywritten music and stuff like that. And I can't do that on Twitch. So yeah, not really going to do it. Swimsuit issues. Yeah, those are great. Iron Man suit. That's also great. Can't kill Reva. What the fuck? Fantastic colors. Larger than life poses. Yeah, that's it. Really heroic. Really bombastic. Colorful. Adventurous. Yeah, technology and magic. Something else that Marvel does that DC does not do, real world cities. New York City, Chicago, Washington, D.C. These all exist in Marvel, right? Lots of color, relatable human situations, spectacle. Yeah. I heard Stan Lee say one time, and this isn't like a visual language thing, but I think it comes through in the visual language as well. Stan Lee said the perfect Marvel story is a situation in which you cannot see how the heroes will get out of this or overcome this trial or enemy, and yet you kind of know they will because they're the heroes. And there's just something about that, this sort of hopeful nature that's caked in even in the visual language of Marvel. Think about like the heroes, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk. Like these are brilliantly designed characters. They cut an incredible silhouette. They have features that make them unique and instantly recognizable. These are brilliant characters. Yeah. Banging babes. Yeah, used to be. Marvel used to have a lot of banging babes, dude. Absolutely. Let me ask you a couple other ones here. What about Pokemon? What's the visual language of Pokemon? Like, how would you describe Pokemon's visual language? What kind of things are they trying to, like, express to you? And the reason I'm asking you that, Greed, interesting. The reason I'm asking you this is because all of this nerdy IP that we love, and a lot of us are here because we are nerds, and we like this shit. We get hyped up for some Dragon Ball. There's some Pokemon stuff we've probably fucked with in the past, right? There's Star Wars stuff that we liked and was super cool and hype. And there's something about these things that made them resonate. Evolution, bright colors, positive vibes. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's bright colors. I think it's very sort of cartoony, Even Detective Pikachu uses a lot of these kind of concepts and ideas, gives it like a sort of live action sheen, but at the end of the day, it still operates with the visual language of Pokemon. Yeah, sense of wonder. Little critters. Yeah. Let me ask you a couple of ones here. What about Dragon Ball? What's the visual language of Dragon Ball? What's some stuff that Dragon Ball has that you're just like, yo? Playing Pokemon Go right now? Interesting. Child abandonment, 100%, but that's not really a visual language thing. Monkeys, a little bit. I mean, there's some monkey stuff in there, yeah. The Saiyans, the Azoro. Hype to the max. Big hair. Yeah, big hair. Power. Yeah, dude, power. Aura, energy beam weapons. Dude, I think of Dragon Ball, I think of Goku going, and the rocks flying around him, the energy coming off of him. Either it's Kaioken or he's about to go Super Saiyan. Yeah. Macho dudes with big, colorful power blasts. Absolutely. Big muscles. Absolutely. Screaming hard. Yeah. Hell yeah. So, what's the visual language of Warhammer, and why do I think it appeals, and why do I think it's such a good thing within the nerdy base? I mean, number one, you got your aura farming, right? You got these big, bulky, tank-looking motherfuckers, literally 8-foot-tall super soldier dudes that are, like, ripping things apart, blasting things with big weapons. Like, y'all seen Astartes? My God, like Astartes is just, it's so fucking cool. I love the visual language of that. There's this grim dark thing. So everything in Warhammer feels like basically in the corner of every frame, literal demons are there. That at any moment, the world could like turn into living hell. There's an edge. It's like kind of scary. You know what I mean? Like there's a hard edge to it. But that's what makes the badassery and makes the aura farming all the more important, because these dudes are standing against incredibly dangerous and very, very evil enemies. So that's a part of it. The other part of it's like, it's very like Catholic and Gothic, like the structures of it. Like I think about a thing like Dune, right? And I like Dune. Dune is cool. But Dune's visual language is like rather subdued. Like the spaceships are subdued. The buildings are subdued. The architecture is subdued. It's all like kind of plain. If the end of Dune 2 was like Warhammer, it would be in this massive fucking cathedral with stained glass, crazy spirals that have spines and, you know, pokey bits, and there's probably fucking skulls all over the place, you know? There's relics, fucking candles. Like, dude, the aesthetic and the visual language of Warhammer is so fucking cool, dude. It's such a huge part of the draw. It's very unique. And yet I think it has attributes that are similar to a lot of the other nerdy stuff that we like. All right, third reason that Warhammer is the future and why it's going to take over and why we should all get into Warhammer. The question is, who ultimately has led to the downfall of all of our favorite nerdy things? Chad? Who is ultimately responsible for the decline of all of our favorite nerdy things? Women. Well, not exactly, no. But good guess. No, not exactly. Not exactly. Hollywood, kind of, but what am I aiming at here? Disney, kind of, what am I aiming at here? What am I really saying? James Gunn, sort of, but why? Why? Honestly, us. Oh my God, get him out of here, OMC! Us? No! Embrace the toxicity. We are not the problem. Holy shit. Corporate swine. Yeah. The leadership. It's the leadership. It's the people in charge of it. Ultimately, Kevin Feige is responsible for the fall off of Marvel. Even if it's that fact that he's just responsible because he checked the fuck out and let other people in charge of stuff that should not have been in charge of stuff, he still ultimately made that decision. Same thing with Kathy. Kathy, granted, dealing with a lot of Bob Iger bullshit, and I try as much as I can to bring that up and to speak truth about what actually happened there. But at the end of the day, she is the one that handled a lot of these decisions. She is ultimately the reason it fell off. The leadership of the thing. The person that's creating it and guiding how it appears and is promoted in the world. It is the leadership. Okay? And what we have with Games Workshop's agreement with Amazon and Vertigo is the dude, bro, the chud, the Giga Chad, Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is absolutely the X factor in this whole situation, because all of the shit we just talked about is only the potential of Warhammer. It is only the potential of how all of these other things operated. The leadership, the person that makes the final decisions, that puts these things into motion, that actually is the one that says we will do this and we will not do that, is the person ultimately responsible for if the thing fulfills its potential. The reason Amazon is aiming up all this money, and the reason the producers are doing it, the reason Cavill's doing it, the reason Games Workshop signed up to do this, is because everybody out there that knows anything about Warhammer knows it is on the cusp of breaking into the zeitgeist in a way that's crazy. It's already super popular. But if the person in charge was somebody like a Kathleen Kennedy or somebody like a Kevin Feige who was good but then maybe takes his eye off the ball a little bit and lets it all get fucked up, then I would have serious concerns. I would have serious concerns with how this would be executed. But we do not have that. We have Henry Cavill, a lifelong fan, a person that's been in the industry for like 30 years, that has all sorts of connections and understands the potential that we just spoke to and has a vision for how to execute on that potential to make it much bigger. And he is, as far as I understand it, currently selling many other people on that potential. Do you remember when we watched the clip from Robert Meyer Burnett's podcast where he's talking to the producer that's working on Warhammer? Did you guys remember this? Do you remember this? Robert asks the guy, and I forget who's the guy's name. I'm blanking on the guy's name. Robert asks him, did you ever play Warhammer? And he says, no, but I just understood the potential of making something like that bigger. Now, what that means is likely that Cavill pitched him a really good producer that's like, look, this guy, I really enjoyed the interview that Robert did with this guy. This guy's brilliant, and he's had a lot of success over the past couple of years. And part of the reason he is successful is he has a sort of eye for the potential of different scripts or different adaptations of IP that will be successful, that will resonate. He also said, and I thought this was so like Rick Rubin coded, where he's like, I don't think of commerciality. I think more in terms of like, oh no, I have taste and I can see the potential of something and how it would appeal to my taste. And I'm sort of just lucky that my taste tends to align with commercial taste, and we've had a lot of success through that. Brilliant. Perfect answer. Perfect answer. But within that answer is this realization that whatever Henry said to this guy, he basically just set up kind of like everything I just set up and said, here's the potential of this thing and how it could be great, how it could be big, how it could be successful. And I'm really excited to see what they do. And man, it's just tough because like I've truly fallen in love with Warhammer, and I'm so excited about the potential for this series. And I think if it weren't for Henry Cavill, legitimately, if it weren't for Henry Cavill, I think all the skepticism in the world and all the people that think it'll be trash or that are worried about Rings of Power or, you know, whatever, Disney Star Wars or this, that, second, and third, I think they'd all be valid. I think they'd be 100% correct. And I would be so concerned with how it would go down. But because Cavill is there and because he is the guy at the till, I have the utmost confidence that all the potential that I've talked about will be executed on. And it will be fucking glorious. I'm so sick of the crap. So there you have it, a positive part of the stream, chat. A positive part of the stream where I explain in great detail for almost 30 minutes why Warhammer is so awesome and why it's the future. Get into Warhammer right now. I demand it. All right, I'll see you guys Friday, man. Woo! Take care. Have a good rest of your day and have a good tomorrow, and I'll see you on Friday. Yeah. My favorite thing about Warhammer is that it gets you hyped. Yeah, there you go. I'll take it. You've been preaching that for a year. Where is Warhammer? When is it coming? Soon. Cheer up, bud. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Should I watch Wonder Man? Yeah, if you're drawn to it, if you feel like it's cool, go ahead. No harm, no foul. W stream. Thanks, Josh. I don't know if it was a W stream or not. I mean, I know, I'm glad you liked it. I wish I didn't get as actually upset. I wish I was able to sort of walk that line a little bit better of like being upset but having fun with it. But I'm honestly like really fucking upset. And I'm really sick of Disney shit. Like, I really am. And I'm so sick of that. Like, I can't walk on eggshells anymore. I can't worry about your toes or stepping on this person or getting this guy upset or whatever. I don't give a fuck, dude. It is a fucking disaster. It is a disaster. I don't know what the answer is, but I know I personally cannot just like act like it's all good. Because it's not. When is the Wonder Man 24-hour watch party? Says Kathleen Kennedy, 67. Jesus Christ. Ryan P. Appreciate you. Says, morning from Australia, mate. Nerd Venture for life. Looking forward to watching the stream. Oh, it was an incredibly positive stream today, man. We got really into the minutia of like how Disney's okay. And how, you know, all these haters and the rage baiters and all these like toxic people on YouTube are, they're just wrong. You know, like they're just wrong. So you'll enjoy the stream. Josh, why do you let these assholes bother you? You know, that's actually a fair question. Probably just because I'm human. You know, when I'm at my best, I really don't let it bother me. I think the truth is, guys, like I'm like really worried about the world, and there's a lot of tension and a lot of dumbasses and a lot of crazy shit that's going on. And I think I'm just a little fed up with people in general, and I'm possibly like projecting that onto some of you guys. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what it is. Vulnerable Josh? Yeah, most of us are. Yeah, for sure. Everything is fine. I don't know about that, man. Once you get past this, which we technically already are, everything else looks good. Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Punisher, Spidey 4, Vision Quest sounds cool. Also, aren't we getting X-Men 97 Season 2? Yeah, and I think there's a chance that a lot of that stuff is good and resonates and is really, really fun. But, like, what if Vision Quest is more goobly glob? And what if they greenlight the X-Men Academy for teenagers dealing with depression or some stupid shit? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to express as much as possible that you cannot even go back to what the content was 5 years ago and make it as though everyone's like, oh, thank God, we're taking a couple steps back. Like, that's not going to work, in my opinion. X-Men Harry Potter remake. Yeah, something like that. I got disconnected with Star Wars. I have a Ahsoka tat on my calf. Heartbroken. I'm not yet with Marvel. I'm excited for the X-Men phase. Yeah, man. I don't have a lot of positive stuff to say about Star Wars. Really, really worried and concerned, and definitely don't think they're getting the message, dude. Josh, you need to open your third eye. Yeah, 100%. Good stream, dude. Keep going. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's do a show about Jubilee dealing with puberty and powers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. X-Men Disney Plus trash content. I'm walking out. Yeah, and like, I don't know, man. You know, because like, I'd like to believe that there are people that watch the stream, or there are at the very least conversations that have with people that are somewhat aware of the content. I don't know, man. I mean, like, you guys, look, you tell me, do I just seem like a crazy toxic fan? Do I just seem like so ridiculous that it's like, nah, you can't like take this for anything more than rage bait? Or is there something coming across? Is there a point that you could grasp? Because I don't know, maybe I am just screaming into the void. You know, like at some point, maybe it is just literally me screaming into the void. And I don't know, like maybe, maybe it would be better if we tried not to have as many streams like this. But I mean, I read that Star Wars news. This Star Wars news sent me the sort of vibes from yesterday, and what I think Marvel accomplished sent me truly. So I had to get out here and talk that shit. I had to get out here and talk that shit. And also continue to shove Warhammer down your fucking throat. I swear to God, if you don't get into Warhammer. Josh's blood pressure is my spirit animal. Yikes, dude. You're going to crash out hard when they release Strange Academy and Champions. If they release Strange Academy and Champions, and it does not have any draw past just being those characters' stories continued, I will crash out. Yeah, I will crash out. Because, like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's so stupid. And I would feel foolish if that's what they did. You know what I mean? Turn Wonder Man on and shut it off as soon as it bugs you. Myself and others did this and watched the whole thing. It's great. I'm not going to do that, dude. I appreciate what you're saying, but I think you're underestimating the degree to which even the concept of Wonder Man makes me want to do a whole stream where I rage out on my own community. So I don't think I'm going to sit down and watch the show. I'm not going to do Warhammer, bro. Why not, Marty? Fucking Marty. Oh, when is the Iron Man member stream? That'll be Friday. Oh, wait, no, that'll be next week. Sorry. This Friday, we're day drinking. You guys thought I was crazy today? I'm going to crack beers and take shots on Friday and freak out. I'm going to get canceled on Friday, dude. I'll pay $500 to watch Wonder Man. No thanks, brother. Dragon Ball Super is big. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I feel good now. You know, maybe I just had to let it out because I'm feeling so much better. Do you think there's a chance that Mando and Grogu is fantastic? No. No. Chat, let him not like Wonder Man. The fuck? Oh, yeah, no, I cannot like Wonder Man, but you guys are not allowed to not like Warhammer. I swear to God. I feel a bit scorned, to be honest. In what way? I'm dropping 2K on Warhammer and making all the figures, Josh. That's what I want to hear. More of that. That's it. Can't keep that bottled up. It's not healthy. Yeah, there you go. Did you see my super about Foggy's return? No, I didn't see it, man. I'll check right now. Foggy's a flashback in the trailer, not returning. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think so, bud. Missed my super chats, says CB the Legend. Okay, sorry. On Joshua, we lobe you. For us, you are a light in the darkness and chaos. You helped us stay away from the bullshit and, more importantly, have fun. Oh, thanks, man. Okay, CB the Legend says, wife and mother-in-law asked me for MCU rewatch to prepare for Doomsday. Just finished Thor movie. We knocked out the X-Men X2 and Last Stand. Okay, that sounds fun, dude. That sounds great. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Family is renting a theater for Doomsday? That's sick, dude. Sending you a Wonder Man hot toy? No, thank you. Okay, I think I caught up. Den of take our minds off the BS for a while. Yeah, and I'm happy to provide that service. You know, really and truly, guys, I wish I was able to just keep it together a little bit better. I'm just kind of stressed. The state of the world is fucking ridiculous, and it just sucks that, like, I look away from, like, the real world shit, and I look to, like, my escapes and the things that I've always loved, and they're in complete disarray. Man. And I'm not optimistic about the future of Star Wars. And frankly, Marvel is really worrying me. And I'm like, man, Marvel, I hope you realize, because it'll just be like, yeah, Doomsday and Secret Wars were cool, but we're back to the same old slop. Like, that's literally what it'll be. It'll be that perception, you know? It's the ex that's liking your post 10 years later. It's the guy that peaked in high school. It's the band that you cannot fucking believe is still on tour. That's the reputation they've earned. And this is not going to go well if they just keep doing it. They need to recalibrate. To be honest, I'm worried about Doomsday. I'm not really worried about Doomsday. I'm more worried that Doomsday will be something like a flash in the pan, and that they're not really willing to course correct, and that we'll get out of there and we'll be like, damn, like this thing, and then it just doesn't feel great. Like, dude, like Marvel should be on the level of some of these other brands, and Marvel should be really, really an exciting thing, and people should love it. And I don't know that there's a true appreciation for what Marvel has become. That's what I'm trying to say, is like, it is sort of a lol cow. It is looked at as slop. It is looked at as junk food. And they just made a series that, by all account, is like incredible. And they put a lot of work into it, and it's not slop, right? It's like the opposite of slop. And yet I think for many people, it's perceived as just more of the same. It is perceived as more of current Marvel. And that's the problem. Like, that's an issue. But I don't know. What do you genuinely think of Zach reminiscing, posting all that Cavill old DCU stuff? Is that par for the course, posturing, fun and games? What is that? Well, I think number one, it is growing his Instagram following. So I think that's part of it. I mean, I guess what you're asking me is like, is there any maybe strategy? Is he actually coming back? Like, what's going on with that? I don't think so, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say exactly. I think it's probably mostly that he's growing his social media account. And I do think the Snyder stuff, I mean, it looks awesome, you know? So a lot of the pictures that he's posting are like legit great photography and some really cool moments and moments that people care about. So it would be like an older football coach that gets on Instagram for the first time, and the football coach is like posting all these pictures of like speeches in the locker room, fun moments in practice, or iconic moments in a game. And then we're all like, yo, is that old coach coming back to coach? It's like, I don't know. I don't think so. That's kind of like what I equate it to. Yeah. That's kind of what I equate it to. Yeah. Doomsday might perform mid in the box office. Then I'm worried about Secret Wars and the Mutant Saga. I don't know. I mean, I don't see that. I have other concerns. And I mean, we like, look at what Marvel has actually done, right? So Marvel turned in a movie with Deadpool and Wolverine that was like this super big smash hit. And then the following year, basically under-delivered 3 times in a row, and its Daredevil show couldn't even chart. So it seems like what a lot of like normies are kind of saying is there's some Marvel stuff that's going to be awesome, but most of it, not really for me. Right? And that's no way to run like a huge popular franchise. Like, how did you get to that point? Like, that's terrible. But it also kind of doesn't matter how you got to the point. It's more important, what are you going to do about it? Can you have stuff that's not premier, main kind of content? Sure. But should you really be releasing shows like that at a time when the fatigue is very real? No. That's what I'm saying. Maybe. And that's another problem is like, I think part of why Marvel just shoved everything out last year was that if they knew if they delayed it any further, it legitimately would not work. Like, it literally would not work because there would be like the whole universe had moved on, right? So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not happy. I'm actually pretty upset, and I'm very disappointed in how Marvel dropped all of Wonder Man and the trailer in one day, and it didn't create a good vibe. It's a better vibe when the X-Men trailer leaked. It's a better vibe when crazy rumors and shit hits the web. And when Marvel actually releases stuff, a trailer and a show, it feels bad. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you know, maybe not for some of you guys, but again, you're not the problem. You're not the concern. Yeah. I'd be more worried about the DCU than the MCU, but a Cynthia Storm casting worries me. Yeah. That's probably real, dude. I've been telling you guys for a while, like Ryan is friends with Cynthia. Ryan wants Cynthia. I think Marvel's interested. And it's like, dude, again, talk about being out of touch. Like, what's the purpose? Because Cynthia is a classically trained actress. She's incredible. If this was based off of just the merit of her as an actress, I would say fair. But that's like what you do for like a fucking indie movie. We're talking about commercial art with billions of dollars on the line, the next big franchise. Why would you bring someone that's that at the very least, I think you could say fans are divided on? She comes with somewhat of a controversy? Or do people not even see that? You know what I mean? It's like, why do that? Why not just cast somebody that's not controversial for Storm? That looks like Storm, that can act like Storm. Right? Like, how is that not... I just don't get it. I think there's a lot of folks that look at maybe some of the backlash or some of the people that don't like Cynthia or this, that, second, and the third, and they literally put them into the bucket of like deplorables and wrong think and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, it's that kind of thinking that has brought them to the place that they are at. It is like, I'm not going to listen to these voices because they're not speaking the right way to me and because they think bad things. I reject these voices and I reject what they are saying. But they're your fucking customers, dude. That's why your Daredevil show didn't fucking chart. So that's bad. That's like bad. And so, yeah, the Cynthia thing just feels like more of the same. Like just Hollywood out of touch elitist people not understanding how that's going to hit the audience. It's terrible. I don't want her as Storm, bro. Yeah, and look, I'm trying to be chill about this because I think she's going to be Storm. But it's so stupid. Like, it's such a stupid idea. And it just really speaks to, like, I think they're completely out of touch, man. They're completely out of touch. And I think, like, a person like Henry, right? Like, to take it back to Henry Cavill, I think Henry would be incredibly polite about it because he's British. And I think he would be super sweet, but he would be like, hard no. Like, he would just be like, that's a hard no. You know? And Marvel would be like, well, everyone who doesn't like this is toxic. Fuck them. My God, bro. Yeah. If it's a cameo Storm, it's fine. Yeah. If it's like some Storm from the multiverse and she's hanging out with Deadpool and the Exiles and they're going around the multiverse and we have an actual Storm, like the real 616 Storm, sure. But why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? Yeah. She doesn't look like Storm. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. that is true. Do you think are too harsh on DC? It sounds like you let your beef with James Gunn cloud your opinion negatively about how hard they are cooking. Oh, no, I don't think so at all. I mean, if anything, like, the beef with Gunn makes me second guess some of my takes because I actually don't want to be bad faith. But the beauty of that situation is, like, I think they're fucking that up so obviously that it's actually pretty easy. Like, do you think they're cooking? Like, you actually think Gunn is cooking? And if you do, like, how so? Like, what is it about what they're doing that is exciting you? Like, how is it cooking? Mm-hmm. People also need to remember not to hate Cynthia. This is a creative problem. I mean, sure, dude, but, like, it's the fucking internet, dog. Like, I get so much shit. We all do. It's the internet. But with Cynthia, we should be very careful and respectful on the fucking internet. Why? Like, I understand what you're saying because you just have empathy for her and you want to sort of delineate between her skill and as an actress and the creatives that are making this decision. But that's like silly, dude. That just feels like pedantic. That feels like, actually, you know what I mean? For real, dartboard. Her and Ariana are whatever that is. Yeah, it's weird, that's for sure. It's weird, that's for sure. Besides the last episode, Peck's Maker was great. Okay, that's going to do it for today. Can't handle any more of this. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Sorry I yelled at you all and fucking hate all the things you say. And I'm right. And shut your mouth. And it's time for Warhammer. As I always say, I hope you, that's right, you, are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Peacemaker's great. Yeah, okay. Is everybody gone? Like, did they leave after the Warhammer segment? I actually feel like we got a lot of people to stick around. Maybe it was just the rage, but a lot of people still were participating and having fun in the Warhammer segment. How about that? Meet me outside. How about that? So I'll probably see you guys for the Super Bowl. Let's just take a break of streaming till the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, let's just have a nice clean break, and then I'll see you for Super Bowl Sunday. That'll be fun. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love, for the support, and thank you for your patience as I take an entire week off. It's not this Sunday, Josh? Oh, I know, Adam. I know. No, I'm just kidding. I'll fucking stream again, and I'll be in a better mood next time. You guys really pissed me off this morning, though. Fucking Trev, man. The fucking Trev. Years and years of dealing with Trev. Years of it. Years of it. Can you imagine supporting a content creator for years and years and years, only to literally, like, troll them and consistently, like, just try to get them to, like, lose their fucking mind? I can't fucking believe it. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the love and support. It's awesome. It's a great life. So thank you for that. Hey, do me a favor on your way out and punch Trev in the face. Open your third eye. And watch out your sticky butthole. I'm out of here.